Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 30. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report. As always, we have plenty of projects. They are looking very positive. We have some ups, we have some downs as always. We're going to have a closer look at the Yieldnodes Audit, and we actually have an email back also from Yieldnodes saying everything is done, who was involved. You can now go and have a closer look at that on the Yieldnodes homepage. But more about that later. Let's start off, and obviously we're going to start off with Yieldnodes, but on the weekly profits. Week 3 for July was actually quite a good month, 1.5%, and that is the highest one we've seen for this particular month. We started off with week 1 at 1.3%, bit of a drop in week 2 at 1%, and now 1.3 for the last part. And now we're just waiting for the end of the month, and we'll see what they come up with. So we're hoping it's somewhere again around the 5% or 6% mark, hopefully, but time will tell. To have a look at the chart itself for the profits, we are on the red line that you can see here and the little arrow. So and at the moment we are lying in between the other results basically for the entire year so far, and hopefully we will see the same uptrend at the end of the month. So we still have a few days to go, but shortly after this news report will be released, hopefully we will have the results and we will obviously post them as usual. The good part here is the Yieldnodes and Decenomy audit is finished. We touched on that already last week. Now we have an email out from Steve saying everything went well, and also that the money that is there is actually covered and then some, more than 30%, as you can see on just the draft of this particular email here. Everything went well, and obviously there's more to read in there. You can see all the different auditors that actually joined in. And we were obviously one of them, and here's a bit of a proof again that the Yieldnodes and Decenomy team's staff exist. I just highlighted the part where I'm actually standing next to Woods and Steve. So they are real people. They were in Malta and we had a great time, and obviously they took very good care of us, and we were lucky enough to have an insight exactly on how Yieldnodes are doing, and we can definitely tell that it's quite a good and sustainable project still. Obviously, you never know because it's still considered high risk. This is cryptocurrency, and with everything that has happened over the last couple of months, everybody should know this by now. Let's have a look at the SAPP and Sapphire coin. So for this particular week, it doesn't look like the return on the investment on a yearly basis has changed much. We are talking about 53%. So just a slight reduction in the last week. We can see here that we continue also to have a good about 1.8% per week at the moment on SAPP, and so the shared masternoding has gone up from 67% up to more than 69%. Overall coin development is again new time high. We continue to set new time highs at the moment with SAPP, which is obviously great. 630% we had last week. Now we're up at 654, going quite well. Obviously it helped here that we've seen some change in crypto, in Bitcoin in the last 24-30 hours, or also Thursday, and that has helped also with the development. It looks like this, and as you can see, continues to go up and up. So great stuff so far. Top of this, PNY, also very similar now. It was more than 100%, so a couple of weeks ago. Now it looks like it's stabilized, and it's stabilized around the 98%, so return on the investment per year. And that means the shared masternoding has now also gone a bit below. So what we're used to, the previous 20%, we are now down at roughly around 14-15% mark instead every single week. Overall coin development, last week we were actually up by almost 8%, and now we are down in minus again, but just a small one. So not the right development for this particular one, and that comes down to the graph you see here. So we were on the way up, and we can see there's a slight reduction in the last couple of days. Obviously, we'll see if the new part of Bitcoin seems to be moving up again here, if it can actually pull up the Peony coin too. Birake is also stabilizing now. So last week it was 109%. Now this week's return on investment is around 106. Still doing quite well. So shared masternoding from 34.8% last week to more than 37.6%. Going forward, going quite well. And overall coin development has also been very, very positive. 285% last week. We are now getting very, very close to the 300% mark. So excellent news, 293. And that is all due to this development, as you see here. So there is some ups and downs on it, but overall, it looks like we are actually moving in the right direction. What is also moving in the right direction now, so is Bitcoin. For the entire week, we basically finished last week around the 24,000 mark. And since then, it's just been going slowly down to 21,000. And then here on Thursday, a lot of things happened again. And we have now seen a jump back up to 23. So that is the range it's lying in at the moment. And that also explains a bit for the profit on the Elevate Pass week 30. This is the third week in a row where we actually get 0.5% from Elevate Pass. And we have mentioned previously that we have spoken to the CEO and they are very cautious on trading at the moment. And it's good to see that we continue to have good stable profits. Yes, we would definitely like them to be higher. There's no doubt about that. But obviously we prefer that we are not getting into minuses or basically crashing everything. On top of this, again, we have the commission plan for Elevate Pass. It is quite a good one with direct commission of 10%, matrix commission of 1.8. So if you are building your team, you can easily double what you are getting every single month. Is that what you want? What we want is talk about solar farm, and we know this particular part here. We spoke about it last week, but we have seen so many comments and remarks on this, and people are asking for our help. Again, please read or look at the videos that we have sent out. And obviously also the developers of solar farm are changing a lot of things. So some things are becoming obsolete, other things are just being expanded on. And that's part of the compounding system that they introduced last week. And we mentioned a bit about it, where you can get up to the normal 15% compounding 30 times. On top of this, you now have an option also that when you get to 112 consecutive compounds, you will get an additional 3%, so adding up with 18. If you continue to do that for 480 compounds or more than 30 days, you will get an additional 12% on top of the 18, so 30 in total. And that is basically also part where you can now beat the inflation, because we have seen some TVLs that has gone down quite a bit, and that is obviously continue to give people a bit of a panic, so their value is going down, and ours is no different. Shooting Star was also introduced end of last week. It was activated on the 21st, and there was a bit of information about all this that was going to take place within 24 hours. And it could be anything between 10 to 50% off, basically, for the panel values if you went in to buy. And any investor who decided to sell in that period of time would also have a penalty. So I believe a lot of people use this in order to gain some momentum. And for this, we will have a look at the calm part, and the calm part is Solar Farm 1. And this will also explain a bit on what you have on the TVL. So because this has come down, and this is basically also what could happen with Solar Farm 2 once people are done selling off in big numbers, and hopefully the TVL go up again. So if we have a look at the Solar Farm numbers just for Solar 1, it's around the 63-64% mark. It has been higher, it has been lower, but overall it's a small minus at 2% at the moment. Panel owned is up, so at 167%, so quite good development. We are gone from 1.1 trillion to basically 3 trillion panels. And then the panel value is also going up, and that's because the TVL is becoming very stable. So, and that is up by 50%, and the daily rewards is actually also up by 50%. So it obviously helps, and it's a clear proof here that the TVL is the huge impact on how your development is going. And that is what we're going to talk about right now. As we can see, the BNB versus USD, it hasn't had a direct influence on this. It's basically just when people are withdrawing, they obviously want to withdraw. When the BNB is at the top, which was end of last week where people started to sell off, it was around 270 mark. And since then it was going down all over the week. And now the BNB is following up again, and that's also one of the reasons why the solar farm members obviously got some extra cash out of it. It's definitely better to sell at 270 than at 240, as we saw the bottom was for this particular week. Solar farm 2, as we said, has been in a lot of fluctuation, and if we have a look at the TVL, we can see that initially the TVL at the all-time high was just above the 1100 BNB. Then last week it dropped to 808, and then that's where we had the solar flare in. So a lot of people were buying new panels. They got them 35% cheaper. So, and then they sold them off fairly shortly after the 24-hour limitation that was in there. And we are now seeing the lowest TVL that we have seen in weeks. So 690 BNB, and that is actually a return of 15%, so quite a lot, and that's also why it has been very difficult for people to actually gain any value, even though they're compounding several times a day, and obviously getting a bit frustrated over this, but that is one of the major reasons for it. As you can see, compared to version 1, a lot more stable. Panel zones, you are getting more panels. As you can see also, we have gotten quite few. We went from 100,000 panels to 330,000 panels. So 230% increase, excellent here. Panel value, it has gone up. We were at 23 last week and we are now at 26. But after we had the solar flare, after we bought into this, we were actually up at 37. So you can see we actually lost quite a lot of value since then. So, but overall we are still ahead, so which is okay. All you can do in times like this is continue to compound, and they wait for the right moment to sell off. Exchange rate has also gone up quite a bit due to all these things, and that is so now 194%. So quite big numbers, quite a lot of fluctuation with the solar farm. So a lot of people are taking in their profits, and hopefully it will stabilize fairly soon. The solar versus BNB is here. You can see the development also as everybody was buying. So end of last week, and then after that they were selling off, and obviously price was coming down. What is also not happening and seems to be going down here is the AI marketing. So we still only have zeros on our platform line. We can't really see how much we are getting in. We can only see what is being spent on the ad budget, and that is obviously not okay. We know that there are still people that are trying to communicate with AI marketing to make sure that we get some feedback and some updates for when all this is sorted. But they haven't managed to get anything concrete back. And that is also due to the meeting that has been postponed, yes, once again, this time around for 2 weeks. So now we're looking at 9th of August, but even if that's happening, we're not really sure. We haven't really heard much news and updates from AI marketing. So people are getting very frustrated, and obviously so are we. What we're not frustrated about at all is our trading for the profit retriever. We continue to have the 12 ones. We haven't expanded on any new ones at the moment. The top ones we have here is the green arrows, where we have the gold, the silver, and the British pounds USD. They're doing quite well. We have a few of the robots that are currently in minor drawdowns, and we'll have to see how they come out at the other end and see if they need further adjustments. But right now, all of them are in nice profit. So as always, we do the top 5 for the profit retriever. So this is for week 29, so basically from last week, so on the weekend where we do all the numbers up. And the British Pounds USD is once again on top here with 9.5% for the week, so very well done, definitely. So and we've seen that happen quite a few times, so very volatile currency, and obviously it also shows when it comes to the trading part and the results itself. Silver comes in at a second price, 8.4, and then gold at 4.9, so very good percentages. Then there's a small drop until we get down to European Japanese at 1.8%, and then the Canadian Swiss francs, which is also quite stable, but obviously a bit lower profit, 1.7. Overall, for the top 5 here, we actually made 5.3% for that particular week, which is definitely not bad, more than 1% per day. $2,633. It is still quite low compared to some of the other months and weeks we've seen, but obviously it will come back again, so this is summertime. Expert Forex and Alex have sent out one video this week, and this covers again one of the Bitcoin traders, so for the competition part, and this is basically he's showing how he has managed to do all these profits over the last couple of weeks with no drawdowns whatsoever. Obviously you will have drawdowns, so no matter what kind of strategy you will use, but you can go in and you can have a closer look at the video, see what Alex thinks about this here and how this is actually possible. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, most of the things continue to be very positive. We are having a very good and stable income, and we hope that you get inspired with all these numbers and showing you the details that lie behind it. So I hope I'll see you in next week's news report. Until then, hope you have a great time and enjoy the weekend. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.